I joined Girl Up in junior year because in sophomore year I was struggling with mental health just because I felt like I didn't know what was my purpose in life. And with the help of like my mom and the school, I was able to find tools and resources to help with my mental health. And junior year came around, and my teacher, Mrs. Kendall Duran, an angel, she invited me to go to the club, and I found a community there that was so supportive. I just had to do more.
Well, we are very lucky that you found us, and definitely have loved having you on our advisory board this year. I want to just kind of throw a question out to all of you, actually, and maybe Alexa, if you want to kick us off. But thinking back to, maybe you were Isabelle's age or in high school, or probably well before that. What first initially drew you to sports, and how did that affect your trajectory? Oh man, I was interested in sports the first time I watched the Olympics when I was 4 years old. I was watching the Olympics on TV, and my mom claims that I was standing there with my hands on my hips saying, that looks easy. I can do that. And then I started trying to do flips around the house. So when I was 4, my parents got me into gymnastics, and I that's when I started in athletics. I grew up in sports my entire life. I did gymnastics, kickboxing, softball, all star cheer, bodybuilding, track field. And that's kind of led me to the career I have today with WWE. And I think if my parents didn't let me get into sports at such a young age, that I wouldn't have developed that passion and work ethic, and I wouldn't be where I am today. Definitely. Chris?
Yeah, so I also was 4 years old when I remember my earliest memories of being an athlete and being in sport. I am a transgender man. I was assigned female at birth, so I grew up playing girls and women's sports as a young person. And while I didn't feel like I fit in elsewhere, I most felt like myself and like I fit in with my peers when I was playing sports. And so people, valued me and appreciated me because I was a great athlete, because I was a great teammate and a good leader. And that's really where I found my greatest sense of self was through being an athlete and playing sports. So, I was really drawn to that, and it was something that was very consistent for me from age of 4, being in t-ball and then baseball and then softball, all the way through high school as a three-sport all-conference athlete in volleyball, basketball, and softball. And then I took time off in college because I didn't want to be on a women's team. Didn't have an understanding of myself really in the term of transgender, but just realized that my gender identity didn't match the way that people were seeing me in the world. And I found that about myself through sports. And then I came back to myself in sports after school, after college, of wanting to reconnect with that feeling that I had as a young person of feeling like I belonged, or feeling like my body was my home, and that feeling most like myself. And that was always through sports.
And Jessamyn, I know yoga isn't really like a competitive sport, but it's incredibly athletic, and I know that you are an athlete. Did you have sports in your background, or was yoga really where you found your physical outlet?
So I've always really loved being active, but I'm not particularly coordinated and or
Holy shit.
fast. And so like my earliest memories of sport are definitely like the presidential fitness challenge in elementary
I'm
school
sorry,
and
lady.
feeling like I was the slowest one to finish the mile and feeling like very disempowered by that experience. And it made me feel like, oh my God, I'm not good enough for this. And so I was always like on the outskirts of sports as a young person. Like I was softball manager. I was obsessed with dance because it felt accessible to me. But I never felt like, and this was very disappointing for I think my father especially because he was like baseball star, football star, and I just never felt the confidence that I think you really have to get. Like everyone else has said, like I think experiencing that confidence from a young age is really helpful. And I definitely didn't have that. But when I was in graduate school, I was going through a period of depression that, I mean, I'm prone to depression and anxiety, so it wasn't the first time, but hasn't been the last time. But I was going through some stuff, and one of my friends was like, oh my God, you should try yoga, it'll change your life. And I had actually tried yoga once when I was in high school, and I was just like, that's not for me. I'm not into it. But she got me caught up on a Groupon. I was like, what's the worst that can happen? I'll go one time, and maybe I don't go again. But it totally changed my outlook on being physical in general. And it wasn't like I blinked and I was all of a sudden like super flexible and all the postures just went easily. Like even just sitting on my shins felt like a struggle for me at the beginning. But it really gave me an opportunity. The solitude that yoga asks of us really gave me an opportunity to look within myself and find the stillness that I wasn't finding in the outside world. And it became like a soothing balm for my mental health. And I think that like had I not made that connection then, I really don't know where I would be now. And that has opened the door for me to feel really comfortable in lots of different athletic spaces and feel like it's okay to not be the fastest one and not be the most coordinated and not necessarily be the best, but always be doing my best and really showing up for myself in that way.
Yeah, thank you, Jessamyn. I can appreciate that. I believe I was the slowest one in my challenge. I didn't really find running until I was almost 30. And I am a jogger at best, but even when you find it later on, you can definitely find the benefits of it. You talked a little bit about kind of your insecurities, and I wonder, just Alexa, if whoever wants to jump in, how did your insecurities when you were young, and then sort of finding your sports and your athleticism or your physical outlet, how does that help you when you're in those moments of questioning yourself? Alexa, you want to take that?
Yes, absolutely. Because like, I didn't want to, if someone wanted to jump in, I didn't know. Okay. So growing up, I had dealt with a lot of eating disorders in high school and in college. And growing up in gymnastics and all church here, there's always that pressure to look a certain way and to perform a certain way. And I wanted to be the flyer that was in the air and all that stuff, which I never was. I was a main base, so strong. But I for me, after having, my stuff with depression and eating disorders, I actually turned to bodybuilding, and that's what allowed me to gain weight in a healthy way and to learn a healthier lifestyle of, balancing food with working out and taking that step by step in those athletics. That definitely helped me be able to be comfortable with food, comfortable with my anxiety from having eating disorders, and actually helped with my depression and getting over those eating disorders. I would say 100% attributed to, well, one, therapy, and two, the sport of bodybuilding, because I was more comfortable with myself. I was more comfortable with how I would feel about myself, think about myself, and I could control, my workouts and my healthy eating plan. And I was actually able to, introduce foods that were fear foods because of bodybuilding back into my life. And now I think it's great because now I just eat whatever and it's great. But that's definitely because of athletics for sure.
Thanks for sharing. Chris, I'm sure the insecurities of this sort of identity experience that you were going through sports. But can you share a little bit about that experience with finding the confidence through all of that?
Yeah, I think as a young person, I definitely found my confidence in being a good athlete and being praised for my athletic performance. And if not for my athletic performance, then certainly for my effort and my sort of intensity. I think at that time I had no understanding about trans identity. I didn't know the word transgender. I didn't know it was a possibility for me to identify in that way. So I always just sort of felt like myself. And it was very clear to me that I didn't fit in with the other girls on my team, but I also wasn't like my brothers. And so, I sort of just felt like I had confidence in myself and as an independent person from a very young age until about high school, when girls are supposed to stop being tomboys and there are more expectations about gender roles and gender performance that are put on young girls. And when I didn't conform to that, that's when I sort of started to get the messages that there was something wrong with me, or that how I was existing in the world wasn't right. And I think that really shook my confidence. And so that's why sport played such an important role in my life at that time, because it really gave me an outlet to feel, that most like myself, like I did before all of those voices kind of came in my head. As an adult, coming back into sport, back into running, was the way that I found out that I was trans. That I sort of had this moment on the starting line with other women of being like, what am I doing here? Like this isn't where I belong. And sort of understanding that when I won my first race, that I was too embarrassed to tell people that I won my race because I won in the women's category. And I need to say, right, like there's obviously nothing wrong with being a woman, and I am a stronger advocate for women in sport now than I ever was before. I'm a stronger feminist now because I understand, my sort of feelings about not identifying as a woman, and sort of the way that people treated me differently as a young female athlete than they treat me today as a male athlete. And it's something that has really been highlighted in my experience in transition in terms of confidence and how sport and how people interact with me in sport plays into my levels of confidence.
Yeah, thank you so much for sharing that, Chris. It's such a unique perspective on the equality piece and the treatment. Isabelle, I'm just curious if you could share, how does some of this conversation resonate with you? Obviously, you're in high school right now. I know you told us before we went live that you run every day. How does how does this all resonate with you as a young person kind of navigating all of this?
Well, listening to me guys' story, it touched me because I'm living it at this moment. Because I am living it at this moment, and when I was struggling with my mental health and I didn't know what to do with it, it was mostly because everybody like